You know, when we hear about Yemen in the news today, the stories are almost always about conflict, about tragedy. But that's just one very recent chapter in a story that goes back thousands of years. And it's a story we really need to understand, because behind all the headlines, there's a history so rich, so extraordinary, that it literally helped shape the ancient world.
Just take a look at this. This isn't some modern city, this is Shibam. They call it the Manhattan of the desert. And some of these buildings, these incredible mud brick skyscrapers, are over 500 years old. This city is a testament to a forgotten prosperity, and it's absolutely central to understanding Yemen's long journey from a global powerhouse to a nation in peril. And wow, what a journey it's been! For centuries, Yemen wasn't known for conflict at all. It was known by a name that sounds almost mythical to us today, Happy Arabia. And that wasn't just some poetic title, you know. It was a very real description of its incredible wealth.
The ancient Greeks called it Eudaimon Arabia, which translates to happy or fertile Arabia. So what was the source of all this happiness and fortune? Well, it was built on the trade of things that at the time were some of the most valuable commodities on the entire planet.
This quote from way back in the 2nd century BCE just captures it perfectly. Can you imagine that? The air itself thick with the scent of spices, a smell that meant immense prosperity. This was the incense trade route, and Yemen was its heart. And it's really hard to overstate just how valuable this stuff was. We're talking about frankincense and myrrh, grown right there in southern Arabia, that were often worth more than their weight in gold. This one trade route connected Yemen's ancient kingdoms like Saba and Himyar to the great empires of Rome, Persia, and Egypt, and it made them all fabulously wealthy.
But you know how it goes. That kind of wealth, that kind of strategic location right at the crossroads of continents, well, it comes at a price. For centuries, Yemen's greatest fortune would also be its greatest curse, making it a prize to be fought over by outside powers who all wanted to control its trade.
This timeline here gives you a quick snapshot of what happened. After its own powerful ancient kingdoms, Yemen saw centuries of foreign influence. The Ottoman Empire took control in the 16th century, then the British Empire showed up in the 19th, and that eventually led to the country being split into 2 separate states. It's just a long history of intervention.
The port of Aden, that became the real prize. For the British Empire, it wasn't just a trading post. It was a vital strategic asset. It was the critical refueling station for their steamships on the route to India. So if you controlled Aden, you controlled the gateway to the east, and that cemented foreign influence in the region for more than 100 years.
And we need to be clear, this colonial rule was not gentle. To keep control and crush any dissent, immense force was used. I mean, in just 1 year, 1928, the British Royal Air Force dropped 70 tons of bombs on Yemeni targets. This wasn't some hands-off administration. It was a brutal occupation, and it left a lasting, painful legacy.
And that legacy of division, intervention, and conflict has all, tragically, culminated in our modern era. Today, Yemen is the site of one of the world's most severe and just devastating humanitarian crises. The scale of it is almost impossible to wrap your head around.
The numbers behind this crisis are just staggering. An estimated 23.1 million people are projected to need humanitarian aid in 2026. Let that sink in. That's nearly 2/3 of the entire population. And of those, 18 million are facing acute food insecurity. For millions of families, skipping meals so their children can eat has become a daily reality. The land once called Happy Arabia is now right on the brink of famine.
And of course, it's the most vulnerable who are suffering the most. 2.5 million children under the age of 5 are acutely malnourished. That's a life-threatening condition that can have devastating long-term consequences for an entire generation.
So, why is this happening? Well, just look at this funding gap. Year after year, the amount of aid that's required completely dwarfs what's actually received. In 2023, less than half of the needed funds ever arrived. And that shortfall has direct, deadly consequences. It means thousands of nutrition centers have had to close. It means the health system is collapsing.
And all of this brings us full circle, because this crisis isn't just about food and medicine. It's about a history, a culture, a human heritage that is being erased right before our eyes. We risk losing something that is truly irreplaceable.
Remember Shibam, the Manhattan of the desert? Well, in 1982, it was celebrated by the whole world. It was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its outstanding, unique contribution to human civilization. It was recognized as a global treasure.
Today,
That same city is on the list of World Heritage in Peril. It's been damaged by the conflict, neglected during the crisis, and it's at risk of crumbling into dust. Shibams has become a powerful symbol for all of Yemen, a priceless heritage on the very brink of being lost forever.
From happy Arabia to a heritage in peril, Yemen's story is a tragedy of immense proportions. A culture that gave the world thousands of years of history is disappearing. And that leaves all of us with a really profound question. What is our responsibility to save it?